All right, we're live and we're kicking it old school. And we're kicking it old school tonight. So this is season 8 of The Walking Dead, episode 7, Time for After. And this is building up to the mid-season finale, which is supposed to be really freaking huge. Something major is going to happen tomorrow night.
Yep.
We'll get
Tomorrow
into.
night,
We're
yeah.
definitely going to get into predictions for tomorrow night. I've got one prediction. Ellen also had a few of the predictions in our group chat that she brought up, which I thought was interesting.
Yep.
But let's get into this episode, which I thought was really good. It, laid the groundwork with Rick, being captive by the scavengers, the garbage pail kids, or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
And Jadis is wanted to sculpt him for some reason.
Yes.
Wants to sculpt him. I guess before she kills him.
Yeah.
I think she probably sculpts them before she kills her victims, or maybe that's how they was, going about that. But
Maybe. But yeah, they were taking Polaroids of Rick.
mm-hmm.
And also a guy was sketching him. There was
Mm-hmm.
a person sketching him.
Yeah, in his underwear, ladies, in his underwear. So that
Mm-hmm.
was I guess that was some eye candy for the women, that watches the show.
Yeah, a little something for the ladies.
Yeah, she said that she wanted to remove the boxers for his boxers that he's wearing.
Yeah, she said that. She said that later on in the episode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was only in
After they finally,
boxers. Go ahead.
but and Rick said, "I'm offering you this chance one more time."
Mm-hmm.
He says, he says, yeah, you can either join with us or you can die.
Mm-hmm.
And Jadis at first, I mean, she's very stubborn. She's very stubborn. She says, she wants to sculpt Rick, and she does not want to join up with them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She figures that the scavengers will take their chances.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, and
later
also
on,
not. Go ahead.
yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to get into the this episode is mainly a Eugene plot point, but with Rick
Uh huh.
as the secondary plot point
Yeah.
going into the
Yeah.
mid-season
Exactly.
finale.
Yep. But later on in the episode, I mean, Rick finally manages to convince Jadis
Mm-hmm.
and the scavengers to join up with them.
Yeah, but not before they try and kill Rick again with the
Mm-hmm.
one of the another badass zombie, um, with the freaking helmet on and the spikes out. I guess it's like, what was the first one's name? Like Wilson or something like that.
I think so.
It was like Wilson 2.0, which I thought was a great battle between Rick and the zombie. I mean,
He had
he was
that
tied
stick.
up. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
He
it
had a
was
hold of the staff. He was bam hitting people with it and stuff.
yeah, which is great. I thought there was a great fight scene between the two because Rick, he was tied up with his hands, and then he couldn't use his hands, so he just you know boom, 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 and then take the stick of it and rip the head off of the zombie, and then
Uh huh.
put it on the ground, and then took Jadis and put her head right next to it, and
Oh yeah.
basically
Yeah.
said,
That was.
you know what, I'm going to end this right now. You either join with me, or you all going to die. There's going to be,
Uh,
my team is going to come and get you guys. It doesn't have to be today. It doesn't have to be tomorrow, but they'll come. They'll come.
yeah. And Jadis agrees, but she says, only if those off, referring to the boxers, those off. Time for after.
Mm-hmm.
It's just great. But yeah, Jadis does decide to agree to join up with Rick and the other survivors.
Yeah, but here's the thing:
So
are they going to turn on them again? I think that's the main question because they turned on them last time. Will they do it again?
well, They had lightning in a bottle when they did that once. I don't see them doing that again.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it would be kind of foolish for them to have the scavengers turn on them again.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because it would be like the same plot point. And I don't think they want to. I don't think they want to have that same plot point over and
Yeah.
over again.
Yeah, it'll be getting too predictable.
Yeah, it would.
And I think that's what they were trying to do is, have us being
Here she is.
she's sideways.
I'm sideways. Seriously. Let's
She's-
see what happens if I do that. There we go.
There we go.
My phone's
Yeah, we
still
were just
sideways,
talking.
by the way.
We were just talking about the whole thing with the scavenger and Shane mentioned about what if they turn on Rick again. I said that would be kind of that'd be like it's too predictable. I just don't see it happening. I don't see them turning again.
Not from the previews. If you stuck around or like looked at AMC's previews,
Mm-hmm.
it looks like they're with him.
Yeah.
For the moment.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't trust them forever, but this whole episode, I watched it again today, and it's like everything is set up for more than half of the episode. It's like 26 minutes in before things start taking effect.
Mm-hmm.
It's set up, and then everything that happens. But yeah, those guys, I kind of like the Garbage Pail Kids. I mean, I don't trust them, but I enjoy watching them. I was gonna see if I could try to like talk like them during one of these, but
yeah, and as we mentioned about them, they're very economical with their words.
Yeah, it's like their own language.
they are.
Uh
After. After.
huh.
To sculpt you
It was-
after. What after? After. And I knew
Yeah.
when I saw the episode title, that was, well, most people probably knew that was something Jadis would say. Time for after.
Mm-hmm.
Uh huh.
And so,
Yeah.
And what is after?
Yeah, what is after?
It's a moment for Rick to really show off. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm. And is Jadis going to finally sculpt Rick? I think that's the biggest question here. Is she going to sculpt him?
If she lives, yeah. If she lives, I'm sure she will. She wants him. She likes that body.
Yeah, she probably will eventually. And then we have subplot with Daryl, Tara, and Michonne, and Rosita.
Mm-hmm.
And Morgan joins them.
Yeah. And two people
But what happens?
That's set up.
Rosita just kind of says, "No, I don't think we can do this," and then Michonne decides we can't do this. So it's just the three that they had.
Mm-hmm.
There's an adorable preview for next week that I was going to send you guys, but I got too busy obsessing about predictions for next week. And it's not like a plot spoiler, but it's so cute. And it's Tara and Rosita. And it has to do with unloading small munitions, nothing major, I mean, from a truck. And then Rosita, because she's still pissed.
Mm-hmm.
That Tara went and did this thing, even though Tara assures them it's working, the saviors are in, everything's good. And Rosita starts piling. She gives her this one thing and just kind of drops it and makes Tara grab the handles. But Tara's just like, okay, I can take more stuff. How about that heavy trunk? How about that? Okay, awesome, good. Yep, keep piling it on. And it's funny. I love Tara. I think Tara's underrated. And it may be like one of the only moment of levity in the whole thing.
Mm.
But yeah, Michonne and Daryl were really cool with each other, though.
Mm-hmm.
About the
Yeah.
decision. Tara
Yeah, I
is
think
not.
so.
Tara Rosita is not as happy, and she's yeah, it's funny.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
And of course, we have another plot with Eugene
which I thought
basically
was
failed.
the biggest
Oh
plot point
yeah,
with Eugene, because Eugene is fully 100% committed with Negan. I
he
mean,
is.
Oh, but
he,
no, he's struggling.
yeah, he
He
is.
is struggling with that. He needs
Mm-hmm.
ergo. I need the giggle juice.
Uh,
No,
yeah,
and we have
he is. That's why he needs to.
3 people get on his case about what he's doing, all in
Mm-hmm.
that whole setup phase. We have Dwight, we have Gabriel, and we have Tonya, I think her name was, who brought him the wine, who wanted her boombox fixed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
All of them had something to say about it.
Yeah.
And then, and
Mhm.
actually, kind of Sasha had a couple words to say about it. Sasha came to him in the setup where he's going to the coffin to retrieve the iPod to make his device. And we see a
Mm-hmm.
brief flash of that scene when Sasha comes out of the coffin as a walker. So he's got all these voices in his head and he's puking.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess to be fair, I think he started puking after the
Yeah.
saviors were coming in. I mean, the saviors, sorry, the walkers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so. But
Yeah. He
Eugene, I
retrieved.
mean, he was
He
like,
retrieved the iPod out of the casket. He
yeah,
retrieved the iPod out of
that's
the
the
casket.
same iPod that Sasha had listening to,
Yes.
Yep.
Yes,
which
it
I thought was a
was.
great callback.
And even though he's conflicted emotionally, having a hard time, he keeps going back to
Mm-hmm.
the Negan part of it because he really believes that this is the best. He says it's not perfect, but this works.
Mm-hmm.
And he admits that he's all about himself. That's what he knows how to do. And he is out to save his own butt. But when the walkers come in, as conflicted as he is, I mean, he really turns on Gabriel and just lashes out at him.
Yeah, and
Yeah, he
then he
did.
talked about Rick and the gang, and he just calls them former travel companions. That was it.
Yeah, that's what I
Uh
have to
huh.
say about
Yeah.
that. You mean the people that kept you alive and fed you?
Yeah.
People talk about if Eugene dies, he's got to turn around and be redeemed first. And I don't know if there's any redemption for him. Not in my book, anyway.
Yeah, it'd be kind of hard. It'd
But
be kind of tough because of the
I
whole.
know, we all know, when Rick gets to the compound, to the sanctuary, and there's no walkers to be seen, Eugene figured something out for the saviors, which is going to result in a very unhappy next week's episode, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know how he can be redeemed because I think there's going to be irreversible damage done. They've been hyping it up. It's shocking.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, like a hurricane, we're due.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
it's a mid-season finale. But
Yeah, and the speculation. I was watching Trez Chan too. He's on YouTube. He does a lot of reviews. He does reviews of The Walking Dead. He does reviews of other stuff as well. The main stuff he does is Walking Dead. And the speculation is, and spoiler alert, that the main character is going to die tomorrow night is Carl.
that seems very likely.
Mm-hmm.
But
Interesting.
I don't. But I still think Judith is on the block with Gracie being there and all that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the,
And he even made a video. He even made a video wondering, is that little girl in the flash forwards Gracie or Judith?
Yeah, that's the whole question.
she's got the same stuffed bunny that they find with Gracie.
Mm-hmm.
Now, and this sequence
Uh-huh.
that remember that flash forward is really a daydream. It's just
Mm-hmm.
like the daydream with Abraham and Glenn still being alive.
Yeah.
This is a daydream, and it's cut in with the scene of him in front of a couple of graves, at least a couple of graves, with tears in his eyes saying, "May my mercy be greater than my wrath."
Mm-hmm.
To me, that is not Glenn and Abraham.
Yeah.
Where he's standing. This is after. Yeah. It's after.
Well, and plus, Glenn and
after.
Abraham is buried at the hilltop.
Right.
Mm-hmm. They are
standing there, but the red eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And then we don't see Carl in the, or do we? Did we see Carl in the flash forward? I thought we did.
We saw Carl.
Oh, yeah, but he's like barely there.
Yeah.
He's really barely there. You don't even see his face.
You see him kind of exchange a look with Michonne, I think, in the flash forward.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, and you said that the people that post the spoilers
won't
do it.
No.
Yeah.
So, there's a whole bunch of scenarios going on in my head about that. One, I mean, just killing off Carl would be shocking to the fans to begin with. I mean, the comic fans, they're like, if you do this, I'm done, because in the comic.
Oh yeah,
it's Carl.
Yeah, there's been a lot of viewers who are saying, well, if they kill off Carl, I'm going to quit watching the show.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be Carl.
But here's the other thing about Carl. In the comics right now, he's only 13 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And he's already gone from like single digits to adult over the course of filming the show. If he turns into an adult, does it have the same, does it convey the same way? All the stuff that Carl does, and and maybe the comics belong to Carl, but the TV show may belong to Rick.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be. Yeah, but here's the other thing: that little girl, that jerk obviously killed and dumped in a creek like a couple weeks back. That was national news, and it was, it's the kind of thing, kids dying, not a good thing, even in fiction. And as my roomie said, it's easier to apologize than to ask for permission. So if they let spoilers out that Judith was going to be killed, it would spark an outrage that from people who didn't even watch the show. Now, here's this, and reminds me of something. This year on American Horror Story, they had a mass shooting scene. And right before it was supposed to air, there was a mass shooting. So they edited it to tone it down, to not make it as graphic. However, you can't do that with this. I mean, definitely you can make it not graphic, but it's not really about, even if it's off screen, the fact that it kills a baby doesn't resonate well. And you can't edit that out of the plot now.
Yeah.
It's part of it. So I don't know, it could be both of them. In the comics, at some point, Lori is running with Judith. She gets shot. She falls, and she crushes Judith with her body. Judith does have a comic death.
Yeah.
Carl doesn't.
Now, if that scene does play out, Lori's no longer around, so it has to be Carl that's the one. Carl has to be the one that's carrying Judith and gets shot.
Oh, except for one thing. Maybe Carl's already bit. That theory was flying around. I went back and I watched the scene when he's really struggling with the walkers, and Sadiq has to help him, a couple episodes back. And there's that one that's right next to him. We really don't see what's going on when they're dealing with the main walker, like on top of him.
Yeah.
But the sleeve of his shirt is like perfect. And then when that's all done, it's ripped at the elbow. Just saying.
Interesting. But
and if that were the case, that would mean that Carl is going to be a hero.
And another theory I had, and I posted it in the chat.
Sorry.
Posted in the chat. I mean, I say this every year, but Daryl. I mean, I think it kind of makes sense because Daryl's been, like I said, Daryl's been reckless this season, and we saw that last week with the whole, going rogue and slamming the garbage truck into the compound, letting the walkers
Looks
in.
good for a while.
Yeah, looked good for a while. Yeah, but then, and then not only that, he shot the that guy when he wasn't really didn't need to.
Yeah.
Just Daryl's been
Glenn.
reckless. Yeah, and Glenn, he got him
Well,
dead.
he shot Morales. Remember, he shot Morales.
Mm-hmm.
And
Then he
shot
shot
other
that
guy
kid.
after we
Yeah.
promised.
Yeah. What, Gavin? His name was Gavin?
Yeah.
But I think that they have to keep Daryl around, if not only for the fact that there's some looming. Oh, there's some residual stuff after this. When this all plays out, we know that Negan is going to Alexandria. Mm-hmm. We know he's going to attack. Whatever happens there is going to be because Daryl went ahead and messed with the plan.
Yeah.
Or, and yeah, Negan's pissed. He's going to retaliate. I think he's got to stick around for the aftermath of that. Mm-hmm. He's got to face off with Rick on that. He's got to deal with himself, and the guilt-fueled rage that he has toward the Saviors will be epic.
Mm-hmm.
And also, Daryl has to deal with Dwight at some point also.
I think Dwight is probably going to die now that we were rooting for him over Eugene this episode.
Uh-huh.
How weird is that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, speaking of Dwight, what I thought was interesting was, Eugene makes this like a drone. What do you call it? A drone. Yeah, he makes a drone, but I think he used the speaker from or he attached the iPod to it, had music playing, was going to lead the walkers away. Dwight shoots the drone, and basically it goes down. So I thought that was pretty interesting. But Eugene also had a tape recorder, if you notice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was, I guess taking notes or something because of that.
He never pressed a button to turn it off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he may have left it on for the conversation with he and Dwight, and that is something he can go to Negan with.
I think he left it on because he was going to continue to talk about the launch. And then Dwight came up, and the tape recorder was maybe the last thing on his mind, or maybe it was on his mind. And that's why he was able to stand up and launch it, because he knew this was all being recorded. Or he could say if he felt like he needed to. But he just seemed pretty confident that Dwight wasn't going to shoot him. How was he going to explain it?
Yeah, and plus, I think he would need it. He would need that tape as proof that Dwight is against Negan.
Yep. And
because Eugene was going to go to Negan about all this and tell him, and then Dwight came in before he had a chance, and he decided not to tell him.
Negan shook his hand. He doesn't do that with many people. That's
true.
The second most important person here, he said to him.
Yeah. Lead up to it, Eugene was going to kiss his hand, and he was like, I was going for a handshake. Yeah, it's like a limp. A limp. I mean, you don't do that.
Yeah, cool.
That was funny.
Yeah, Eugene, he doesn't know what to do. He just knows he wants to keep this guy happy. He wants that roof over his head, which is right now demolished. I mean, and the workers aren't happy, and so I'm a little curious about what goes on there after that.
Now, what about Gabriel? I mean, Father Gabriel is still in the bed, though, in the infirmary.
With no meds.
James,
get some meds to him.
Eugene was talking about keeping Dr. Carson alive also.
Oh, yeah. Well, not letting him go back to Hilltop. because he wanted him there in case he needed it. He went through that tirade after the walkers came in, and honestly, you really got to listen to Eugene very carefully because he's just like, brrr. I know. And I'm an English major, but he mumbles too, so it's like,
yeah, he does.
but yeah, his word choices are pretty funny.
I mean, he was standing there watching the walkers come in. He's fuming. You can see that the anger is starting to build up.
He went from fear to anger.
Yes.
His face changed. And he was pissed. And then that's when he decided, that's when he just went off on Gabriel. He's like, all right, I'm venting.
Uh-huh.
I'm venting to the sick priest in the bed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and it seemed like Eugene was going to let, Father Gabriel die. Because he said he was not going to get Dr. Carson.
Uh-huh.
Well, Dr. Carson, I've gone off for some herbal medicine because they didn't have any, Western antibiotics, which is what I think Eugene needs. Maybe some dialysis at this point. Not Eugene, Gabriel. But, people that are like obviously like kind of on the chopping block, like, Eugene, to a certain extent, Dwight, Gabriel, none of them are shocking. You think of all the people who could die. You think of all the regular death episodes, and we haven't seen really shocking since 701, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, Herschel was kind of big.
Yeah.
Yes, Herschel.
It's huge, yeah.
Lori, Jane.
Lori, yeah. Beth.
Let's see. That was a mid-season death.
But some of them, like Tyrese, got his own episode. Sasha. I mean, and that's just
true.
I hate to say it, just a regular old Walking Dead death. It happens every so often. Bob. But yeah, they say shocking. Chris Hardwick was like, they are letting me tell you that it is indeed going to be shocking.
So I saw that.
Hyped. I kind of doubt it though. I mean, you see the previews. Negan is at the gates. It's nighttime. He's telling everybody to line up in front of their little houses, and whoever's got the most lame excuse for this shit is going to die, and then everybody's going to watch him kill Rick. And Carl telling Michonne, we just have to survive tonight.
Yeah.
And there's going to be...
That's right.
Be everywhere. Maggie's out on the road with Jesus. Carol's out there. And I spent some time on the Spoiling Dead fan site. Just, I mean, because there are no real spoilers per se. Well, actually, in full disclosure, but I won't talk about anything that I read in it. There was what seems to be the subtitles for the Spanish version. So basically, you translate it to English, so it's English translated to Spanish, translated back to English, and it does not seem to be the entire episode, but it doesn't reveal who might die. Not what I read. It doesn't look good. It's scary.
Yeah, I mean, there has to be a mass exodus of characters tomorrow night. It's getting real big.
Yeah.
They need to thin the line out, thin the herd out. But
Jerry on his knees, man. Somebody's got him. A lot of scary looking photos. from I don't know where. But I mean, just even the previews are the legitimate previews are scary.
Mm-hmm.
But how epic was that with Rick?
Yeah.
With his hands tied.
Yeah, the whole
Getting out of
zombie.
all of that. That was one of the best scenes ever.
That was great.
And Jadis is looking with a combination of awe and fear.
Yeah.
And when it gets through it, she's ready to start shooting him, but he's already all over that.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got her on the ground. And that head is there moving right in front of her face. She said it was really moving, this thing.
Yeah, it was an animatronic head.
Yeah. And
which I thought was great.
And when it's all said and done, like a gentleman, he holds out his hand and helps her up.
Uh-huh.
It was just amazing. Clothes. My boots, my clothes, now.
Yeah.
No sculpting.
That was...
And then Rick goes to the takes Jadis to the Savior compound to show that the Walkers is surrounded the Savior compound. But when he gets there, they're gone. They disappeared. And what's going on? He didn't. Yeah, he didn't know about Daryl's rogue plan. He didn't know about Tara's rogue plan.
Right.
Which said, nope, not going to do this, and left. Morgan and Tara.
Well, he was trying to contact them on radio. Like, maybe this was about the time that they were supposed to ask for their surrender. But nobody around. They'd already done what they did and left.
Well, they got out somehow. I'm sure all of the...
Who let this happen, he let them out. This is why I don't think he can be redeemed. All right, we'll see.
Well, you know, they were saying during the preview last week, they said, yeah, definitely. They said, they're talking about stick around for the live discussion to talk to discuss the moment everybody will be talking about.
Yeah.
So.
And this is, I hope they don't, over do a little cop out with a cliffhanger like they did in season 6.
They better not cliffhang anything.
Yeah.
They better just leave us with our grief. Let us decide if we want to come back in February. But I mean that because the last time they did that, it did not go over well.
Yep.
I think this time they do the courtesy of just getting it all out there and letting us see what happens. My cat is going after my drink. God. And just let us deal with it. There'll be more war to come.
Yeah.
It's going to be about, all right, now what happens? I think it's going to be a bloodbath. There's going to be so much devastation, maybe amongst all the communities, but definitely in Alexandria. The sanctuary is already trashed. And now Maggie, okay, now, and here's something where I have seen nothing about this character, but you know how I'm suspicious of Diane. I was bringing this up on those forums, and everybody's like, what's suspicious about her? Why would you think she's a mole? I'm like, because she's always there. And why? Why? Nobody's explaining it. She doesn't exist in the comics. She starts out at the kingdom. So maybe, I mean, because look, this was what I was saying. What better way to ensure that the other communities are behaving than to plant people there?
Yeah.
And so she might have been at the kingdom, like as if she lived there, and everything was going just fine there. I mean, Ezekiel wasn't even telling people about it, so everything was copacetic. But Gregory was a problem, and then Maggie was there, and that was a problem. So she ends up being one of the ones to bring the prisoners to Hilltop right before everybody gets shot.
Mm-hmm.
And now she's there, and Maggie's not. She's in a perfect position to open up that pen.
Ooh, that's interesting. That's great. I mean, I think it's going to be hopefully it's going to be an epic episode tomorrow night.
I'm like, why else is she there? They don't develop her.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
Yeah,
always
she's just
there.
been like usually in the background for most of the season.
But she gets dialogue, and she's
Mm-hmm.
just there. She fulfills roles that any extra could fill.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and just now she's left behind at Hilltop.
Mm-hmm.
Maggie's gone, and Gregory's in the pen. Which is really gonna. But then again, we do have those two in the pen, the troublemakers, and they may figure something out.
Yeah, the long hair guy and Gregory.
Yeah.
Diane, for some reason, on a wiki page, they said that she will be. Was it her? Or no? Oh, no, it was Sadiq. They said would be in this episode. But remember how Carl, with Sadiq the week before, was saying to him, "I would definitely not bring you to the community."
Mm-hmm.
And then after the whole Walker incident, he says, "Let's go. I'm taking you there."
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking Carl was bit, and he knows it. But he's going to fight to the bitter end. Now he can actually sacrifice himself if necessary to save other people.
Yeah. And plus, we've got to figure out what's going to happen with Father Gabriel and his illness.
Yep.
Somebody will get him some medicine. Or, I mean, does he have any? What storyline does he have now? Could he be the one in Carl's absence who sits down with him, with Negan, if he ends up in the cell at some point? Could it be
that would be interesting because I love the interaction between Father Gabriel and Negan in the whole trailer scene. That could be interesting.
Yep.
And Gabriel has just like new attitude that just like washed over him, where there's no fear.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not afraid to say anything, even when he's vulnerable. Doesn't matter. He's like, he's given himself up to whatever happens, and he's just interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Don't kill that off.
Yeah, because it was talking last week that they needed Carl for the whole interaction between Negan and Carl in the cell. And I'm glad you brought that up because who else could replace Carl if they do decide to kill him off? And Father Gabriel could be the likely person that could replace the whole interaction between the two.
Yeah. Or they could. The shocking thing could be the hard left turn. That was right. But anyway, from that part of the storyline, and then maybe align with the comics again, and then veer off again.
Yeah.
I keep going back to the fact that, Chandler Riggs is never going to look younger. Mm-hmm. He's supposed to be a kid.
And he's a college guy now. He's in college.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's 18. Mm-hmm. He's not going to be able to pass as a kid. I mean, he's supposed to be 14 in the TV series and 13 in the comics. I mean, he's old for 14.
Yeah.
Well, there are characters.
Notice his voice was so deep in the last episode. It was like.
Well, there have been characters that have been killed off on the show. They're still alive in the comics. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be much of a stretch to kill off established character from the comics on the show because. In some ways, the show parallels the comic. In other ways, obviously, there are differences.
Mm-hmm. But if Carl is the one who gets killed off, will it be by the hands of Negan?
Why would Rick look like that at that gravesite? Just go back to that.
Mm-hmm.
Carl, Judith, both.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because all signs point to Carl, and he seems like such a distinct possibility, or maybe they're just trying to throw us off. He's sporting a new haircut. He was in Los Angeles at a time when everybody else was filming, and he was talking about how he doesn't think he'll ever be as famous as he is right now, and he's glad he's had the opportunity to do this. You know that, and that Judith has a comic death, and they brought in Gracie, and they had that whole flash forward daydream, and that's not for nothing. So I want to be wrong. I want it to be a feel-good episode where they beat the whole group, and get him out of there, and get to go to bed, and everybody's happy. But I don't think so. I'm prepared to not be happy at work Monday.
Now, another question is, are they going to do the whole future Rick? Are they going to bring him back in the mid-season finale?
Future Rick is a daydream.
Yeah, but are they going to show through his eyes again, like they did in the beginning?
Maybe they will. I mean, or maybe they'll save that for 809 in the aftermath. So he suffers his losses. You know, the episode ends with that, and then in 809, maybe we start at the gravesite with him saying, "May my mercy be greater than my wrath."
Well,
because
yeah,
you know,
is that particular moment where we see the red-eyed Rick. I mean, that is essentially telling us that he's upset over somebody,
and that's real.
Yeah.
He's not.
Old man
Yeah.
Rick is like this white light all over it, just like the other daydream. It's a dream, you know. So, and they're playing Weird Al Yankovic. Another one rides the bus. It's bizarre.
And are we going to find out where that helicopter came from? Was that a vision? Or was that real?
I think that was real. I think Rick has his shit together. I think he knows what's going on. That was real, but I'm not sure whose it is.
He's got a chopper.
Yeah.
But we don't know who.
Is this chopper gonna be something that Morgan gets in and goes away? I mean, there's another theory that Carl just goes away. He takes off with Sadiq. But I don't know why he would do that. I can think of a good reason to do that.
But also, don't forget, I mean, supposedly Rick loses the will to fight. Unless, let's say, one of his kids taken from him.
Well, you know what? I got kind of put in my place and educated today because I kept pointing to that, and somebody pointed out on the forums, they were like, you know, any registered user can edit that description, which I know, but I figure AMC is so on top of everything. I mean, they were on top of this particular forum and were like threatening to sue them. You would think that they would keep on top. And then the person who told me that came back and he was like, actually, I edited it last. He said because somebody had put in that Carl dies in this episode as the description. And he edited it to take that out. The whole thing, though, about has Rick lost his will to fight was already there. And he left it that way because that wasn't a really big spoiler, but he just took out. Probably has Rick lost the will to fight after losing Carl.
Yeah.
Which may take Judith off the table, like, for now anyway. Maybe that will happen later, but not now.
But we still wonder
Something's happening.
But there's still the question of who's the little girl in the flash forward.
Daydream.
Yeah. Is it Gracie or is it Judith?
Yeah, it's not a flash
Yeah.
forward. It's a what could be. And it's not happening when we see it. It's not happening before all this. It's happening after this. That
Mhm.
daydream, and he's having it as he's standing at those graves.
Mhm.
Just like he had that daydream about the future could have been in
Mhm.
701
That's true.
after all the crap had happened. The future that couldn't be.
Mhm.
Somebody in that flash forward is not there anymore.
It's cold out there, isn't it?
All our kitties
Yes.
are like, you hear a kitty?
I heard him out there. Meow, meow.
Yeah. I'm convinced now. I think the whole thing was a daydream of what could have happened, but just like with the like what you mentioned with Glenn and Abraham and Maggie with the baby, and they're all at the table. That was a daydream of what could have happened. Carl,
Yep.
that'd be a big major kill if they kill off Carl tomorrow night, because he's been there
Yeah.
since the beginning,
Yeah,
just
I'll
like
miss
Glenn
him.
was.
Had some epic
Mhm.
moments.
Mhm.
Showing up at Negan's ready to take him out himself.
Mhm.
Uh-huh. Yep.
But in the
And the thing is, if they kill off Daryl, I mean, why there's not too many spoilers being released of that, because oh my god, all the Daryl fangirls were like, oh my god.
Yeah, but Daryl is suffering the Jesse syndrome right now, I think. Because from Glenn to like shooting people for no good reason and going rogue.
Mhm.
And who started that fight between Rick and Daryl?
Yeah.
Did Daryl start that one?
Oh. I
I think he
so.
did. I think so.
But somebody pointed out that, Daryl, Norman Reedus has that motorcycle show on AMC, so he's really a cash cow for them. Why not keep him on both,
Yeah.
Who
Exactly.
who would be the major loss, Carl or Daryl?
Carl
Oh.
I think Carl's the most shocking loss. Not necessarily for our relationship with the characters,
Mhm.
but its impact on
Yeah.
Rick, who is the main character.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
Negan's really, really, really pissed. And he wants to hurt
Mhm.
Yeah.
Rick.
Yeah, and
And he wants
he
but we want
basically said
Rick
that.
to
He
be alive
said,
to suffer
"Wait
for it.
until the shit storm comes on Rick." You know. So
Uh-huh.
now,
See, here's the thing. It really wouldn't impact Rick
Mhm.
if Daryl was killed off. That would not really be much impact on Rick.
Well, it would, but not that red-eyed standing at the grave. I don't think. I mean, there were two graves there at least.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, I'm not gonna try to figure it out anymore. I've decided I'm just gonna prepare for utter devastation,
Mhm.
and I'm just crossing my fingers that people like Michonne and Carol. I don't want to see Daryl go either, and there's a lot of people I don't want to go.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's gonna be a bloodbath. I think there's gonna be tomorrow. Is gonna be a
Uh-huh.
bloodbath.
Yep.
Because
Yes, in the comics, Heath has his leg blown off when something
Ooh.
explodes, like a hand grenade, I think.
Mhm.
And he's not around. Thinking maybe Tara gets that one. People are saying that maybe Tara gets that one. They're not saying they know, they're saying maybe.
Yeah. Now, we see in the previews that Negan went to Alexandria. Is he going to call the hilltop to go to Alexandria and the kingdom to go to Alexandria, or what's going to go on
I think
with
he's
that?
doing a three-pronged attack. I think he's
Mhm.
headed to. I think he's got people headed to all three places, but the main event
Mhm.
is on the Alexandria stage.
Yeah.
And that's where he's going.
Mhm. I cannot wait for tomorrow night. I think it's going to be. Hopefully, it's going to be a good episode.
Although the kingdom, he's already pretty much wiped them out, so
Mhm.
it's really about Hilltop and Alexandria are the most important targets.
Mhm. Do you think?
So
Do you think
I
Negan's
got
going to
to
have
see
Eugene? You think Negan's going to have Eugene kill someone to show his allegiance?
Ooh.
That is the kind of thing he would do, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. That is the kind of
And
thing he
maybe
would
that would
do.
be the moment that Eugene redeems himself. Who knows? I don't know
Mm-hmm.
what Eugene is going to do, but I do see him looking like he might change his mind about what he's been doing. So disturbed by it.
Mm-hmm.
And so many people told him, because he said he couldn't understand why he couldn't sleep. And she's like, of course you do.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing what he says.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And Dwight gave him quite the talk. You know this place. You've smelled the burning flesh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, tomorrow night's episode is titled "How It's Gotta Be."
That's a Negan thing to say. I think that's
Yes.
what's Negan going to say.
And said too. Chris said, "Yeah, that's a Negan type saying." Yeah.
Somebody else said that was something that Bob would have said in a more positive kind of way.
I think Negan's going to say that along the lines of, "This is how it's got to be, Rick." I think that's what he's going to say to Rick.
Yep.
Or I could see Rick saying it.
Interesting.
Yeah, it sounds like it could be a Rick saying or a Negan saying.
Mm-hmm.
One of them, I think, is going to say it.
Yeah, it's not as easy to figure out as Time for After.
Mm-hmm. And so the A that she marked on the case meant for after, I guess.
Really?
Maybe.
Maybe. Is that what they call tying a guy's hands and throwing him into a bunch of walkers? One with razor or something, or spikes, or I don't know.
Some kind of spikes. Oh, and that walker's name from the last time was Wilson. So basically Wilson 2.0. No, Winslow.
Yeah.
I was just because he's working the guy's head off, and then every once in a while he has to use the other side of the stick to take somebody down or swat somebody away, and then back to working on the head, a little at a time, Upside down.
Yeah.
That was great. That was great. And Daryl, actually, I mean, that was I have to say, when it happened, Daryl and the truck, and I was like, that was awesome. And when the walkers got in and started, except they were eating the workers, which is sad because they're not the assholes. But when they got in there, I was pretty happy. They would have stayed in there.
I wonder how Negan got out. That's my question.
It's got to be Eugene.
Yeah.
I think he already said that he had an idea. Well, no, he said he had an idea to fix the PA system.
Oh, yeah, he did.
And we saw in the preview that he did fix the PA system.
Mm-hmm. Maybe somehow. I was saying to my roommate, maybe it's as simple as freaking taking keychains from various cars and setting the alarms off. The cars are parked away from the building. Get the walkers. I mean, people might have that in their very pockets at that moment. It would be like could be something as simple as that. That's what I would do. I would definitely set off my car alarm to get them away from my door.
Now, here's an interesting possibility. Could Negan and the Saviors take over Alexandria, perhaps? And since they've lost the sanctuary, they turn that into their main headquarters.
Pull a governor and make them all scatter away from Alexandria. Wow.
Ooh. That'll be interesting. That'll be quite interesting. But, you know, Negan's got to have his revenge tomorrow night, and
yeah,
what that revenge is going to be quite interesting to watch. Like I said, I think it's going to be a good one. I think it's going to be a good episode.
Yeah,
yeah, like almost
because
an hour and a half.
As you said, Ellen, we're due. So yeah, it is 90 minutes tomorrow night.
Pop extra pop.
Yeah, we're due.
Have extra tissues and soft objects to throw at the television or whatever you're watching it on. And I recommend melatonin for sleeplessness. It's kind of natural.
So I think we covered the major plot points that happened last week and gave our predictions for tomorrow night. Anything else you want to bring up? Any TV you've been watching?
Well, The Punisher. I've been watching that on Netflix, and it's awesome. I'm just about finished with it. Got 5 more episodes to go. Amy was saying that the trailer for Jessica Jones season 2 has already dropped.
Yeah.
So nice. There's some hope in my future. No, the only thing I really got going is Shameless. A couple of comedies that, you know, they kill a little time, but they're not, you know. But like everything else, I had like a really good week. I mean, when I watched a few things, including Stranger Things, and oh my God, Alias Grace, American Horror Story was fantastic this year, but everything's like gone. I'm waiting around. I'm waiting around for Better Call Saul.
Oh yeah,
me too.
But I'm about to hit a dead spot. Homeland will come back. That'll help. But I mean, I like to have, you know, at least 3.
Like, Jessica Jones is coming back March 8th.
March 8th. All right.
March 8th is Jessica Jones season 2.
Okay, cool.
And by then, Walking Dead.
Jessica Jones.
It's women. And Better Call Saul will be back on. Amen. Shameless will probably do they'll probably do the same thing in like a mid-season finale, or I don't know, maybe not. But you guys don't watch that one.
I haven't.
That is like one of the funniest things ever. Have either of you seen The Mick?
I've heard of it. I haven't watched it.
That's like on regular television. Fox. Yeah.
That's the
kind of a funny comedy, but the big part of it, it's totally inappropriate. Like the most inappropriate things you can think of, they're said or they happen, and Shameless is like that, but way better.
I know
better.
that
the things that happen are the
Olsen, Kevin Olsen, I think is her name.
The one who plays Nick?
Nick.
Who?
She was on It's Always Philadelphia. Sweet D from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh yeah, that girl, the blonde.
Yeah.
And something I watched, and oh my God, I can't even figure out which one it was. Which show it was. It actually, I think it might have been Shameless. Skank showed up.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, her. Yeah, the one that dropped the ATM on the dude's head.
I would love to see Spooge in season 4.
I'm like,
Better Call Saul.
I'm pointing and I'm like, her name. Of course, we don't have a name. And I'm like, that's. My roommate's like, Skank. I'm like, yes, Skank.
Oh my lord, yeah.
We have to get Spooge and Skank in season 4 of Better Call Saul. Because Saul said that dude was a client. So we have to. We got to see that.
Oh yeah.
Really is a client. Oh God.
I haven't seen anything about when BCS is coming back though.
Yeah, probably February. It's the usual.
Well, it came back in
Hopefully.
April this year, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to rewatch the season just cause that was a pretty amazing season.
Mm-hmm.
it hasn't dropped on Netflix
Chuck
yet.
is
Season
dying
3.
in a fire theory. I mean, if it hadn't come up, if somebody else had mentioned it, I never would have. I don't know if I would have thought of it. And then,
Mm-hmm.
then you think it's gonna be an accident, and then whoa,
Mm-hmm.
that was great
Oh,
stuff.
that was an amazing. Yeah.
Oh man, season.
Well, anyway, guys, I'm gonna try to order some food before everything closes up around here.
All right, yeah. So next week is going to be the mid-season finale
Yep.
of the Walking
How it's
Dead
got to be.
mid-season
Yep.
finale, and then it's going to be the mid-season finale of the Webcasting Dead too. So we won't be back until February. But me and Henry's going to be doing the X Cast. We're going to discuss the new episodes of the X Files that's coming in January.
Yep.
I
January
cannot
3rd.
wait for the new episodes of the X Files. I'm so freaking.
It's gonna be
January
awesome.
3rd is the new
Yeah.
season.
Yeah.
Man, I cannot wait.
So
Wait, tomorrow night. How enjoyable this is gonna be. This is gonna be as enjoyable as 701.
Yeah.
I really don't think this is gonna be.
All right. On that note, see you next week. Good night, everybody.